I think I want to talk about the expectations of people that move here actually today, and kind of do maybe a little bit deeper dive on not just the reasons some people leave, but maybe their expectations when they get here. And
I think it's messed up, Mike.
I do too. We're going to get into it in about 45 seconds. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd appreciate it. YouTube's hard. If you want to see videos as I put them up, hit the notification bell. If you want to show some love for 16 years of putting up videos about living and traveling in Costa Rica, a fun way to donate is buy me a coffee. I want to thank the person that bought me, dude, 200 coffees.
Really?
No, 50. I'm sorry, 50 coffees. Thank you. You know who you are. But anyway, it's a fun way to donate. That link is in the description below. Guys, our relocation retreat is already starting to fill up, and it's like months away. So if Costa Rica is on your radar, thinking you might want to live here, but you're not quite sure, this relocation retreat might be for you. Tons of information. The contacts alone that you're going to meet are worth the price of admission. We have a great time. It's like half vacation. It's at a great hotel. Johnny talks there. Hey, I don't know how he got in, but we let him talk. Anyway, guys, all that info, I'd love to see you guys there. We have a great time. So all that info is in a link in the description below. If you have any questions, email me or Sarah, and we will answer those questions. But we would love to see you there. We only do like two or three a year, so you don't want to miss out. Not that it's going to fill up tomorrow, but sooner is going to be better than later, I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's what made me think of this topic. So, I'll get a lot of comments on videos, and, So this one person was saying that she left Costa Rica. She'd been here 2 years, and she was kind of half bagging on Costa Rica a little bit. But some of the reasons she was giving was kind of her fault. So, for instance, I don't know if you guys know this, but they tried to implement this where if you're going to be a resident, go through your residency, you can get your household goods down here tax exempt, your car, your boat, tax exempt, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, that's a scam. And she goes, you can't even sell your car when you get it down here for like 10 years. So she did her homework and research about, yes, they have this tax exempt status, and yeah, you can bring down your car, your household goods, but she didn't go further than that. The reason they have that law that you can't sell your car is because a lot of people, me included, actually, I was like, man, I'll just bring down some cars and sell them for double the price, because they are double the price here. So they do that so you don't do that. Now, she didn't know that. She was kind of bagging, like, that's a scam. No, that's not a scam. Actually, they had to do that to stop the scam in reverse.
Yeah, no, I think people's expectations of coming to Costa Rica sometimes is that you look at Costa Rica like, okay, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to implement my own rule. This is my rule that I'm going to use because that's
my expectations.
Yeah, no, and it's the rule of law of any country, and you have to respect. You come here and respect that.
Oh my God, I got to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. Guys, we're talking to Johnny. You guys know him. Have you ever seen him before? We've done tons of videos. He's our medical dental guy. He's the guy that gets your stem cell, does your breast augmentation, fixes your grill, fixes your hip, gets you all, he'll walk you through. You come down here off the plane, he'll get you to the doctors. He's vetted the doctors. So anyway, that's what he does, and we talk to him a lot. So, but if this is your first time at the channel, they may not know that, Johnny.
Thanks for the plug, Mike.
Yes, you're welcome.
So
anyway, I expect some money.
Yeah, well, I got you.
All right, sorry, go back.
So you people look at these things and like, okay, this is not right, or it's like it's not going their way. Life doesn't go your way. Everything you do, you have things that are going to go in your way, and set the expectation. Hey, you know what? You came here for a reason, right, Mike?
I think so, and most people kind of say simpler life.
Yeah.
Usually that's somewhere, I mean, obviously the money situation, I want to live cheaper, but usually the simple life works its way in there, because if you don't want to live a simple life, then maybe, or more simply, we'll just say, it doesn't have to be total, living like I do, but you got to change a little bit. So it usually is in there.
You have to assimilate a little bit. You gotta give something in. You're gonna get something in return. You're giving. Some people come here. What I've heard is for a piece of quiet, for that change of pace. They want it a little bit slower. But once they get here to slower, they can't handle it.
Well, I think if you find yourself getting mad because they don't have the turmeric that you want, you know, the spice that you want to make your special waffles or whatever the hell people make, I can't believe they don't have it here. I can't believe, you know, people start getting a little pissy about the conveniences that they left, and they forget that those were conveniences in the United States. It doesn't necessarily resonate to Costa Rica. We don't have all the specialty items, and if they are here, they might have to get them in San Jose.
Yeah.
You might have to do, not that they're not here, but they can be sometimes a problem to get certain things, you know.
Well, you know, Alto Mercado, you ever been there?
Yeah, yeah.
They have a lot of stuff that's in the U.S. It costs more.
It's
just,
imports.
Yeah,
It's imports.
It costs a lot more, so you have to take the good, you know what, and sometimes some of that stuff is not always good for you either.
Yeah, I think it's actually some of the conveniences that people can't handle. They think they can do Costa Rica, but then they're missing their special spices or their special cheese, or, you know, that they can just walk into the doctor. I don't know, whatever it is that they was easy for them in wherever they came from.
Well, you know, they got that 3-month period to come back and go back and forth. You can walk out of your comfort zone and sit there and have that time. Oh, I got to leave for the 90-day period.
Well, no, 180, dude.
Oh, the 180. That's
180, right. And that's you know, if people looked at that and go, hey, I don't have to work on my residency right away. I don't even know if I'm going to really like Costa Rica. I think I will, but I could be honeymooning and all that kind of stuff. So you actually have plenty of time with the 180 situation to kind of gather and not maybe don't buy that house the first 2 weeks you're here. Maybe don't start your residency. Maybe don't marry the hooker. You know what I mean? Don't do
Oh, the hooker can't marry.
No, you know what I mean? People, they think, oh, I'm going to be here. This is love or whatever it is they're doing. And then 2 years later, they're like, Costa Rica's not for me. And they have to sell the wife, the car,
No, you I think you can tell a good point, Mike, is that they have this expectation of what Costa Rica is sometimes from that vacation, that time that they went to the beach, or they did this, or they spent some time here, or even they met that family that was so nice to them, and everything was so beautiful. But once you become a resident, it's just different. You're going to the society, the whole health. It just changes, Mike.
Yeah, it's different. So I'll ask you this. I ask this a lot of times, but how many people that come down here do you think leave? The expats that go, I'm going to live in Costa Rica. How many do you think end up leaving in the first, let's say, 5 years?
I'm going to say over 50%.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah, it's just it's easy to say I want to live somewhere, but it's a lot harder to stay and say, you know what, I came here for a reason, and they kind of forget what that reason is, because they get, I miss my Amazon drop off, or I miss
we all do
that sausage, or and then they lose a perception of, hey, you know what, everything costs so much more, and I used to get it. Well, you can't compare 330 million people in a population that has that buying power to 5 million.
You know, that budget thing is funny, because a lot of people, you know, like, you know, they've seen some of the videos I've done on cost of living. I do live cheaply here. I just do, because most people would want to live like I do. I totally get that. But some people come down here and they're on a very thin budget. You know, it's like one little thing goes wrong, and it could be medical, it could be whatever. And then I also want to ask you the other question. How many people do you think that those over 50% that leave, do you think it's really Costa Rica, or is it them?
No, it's definitely,
it's them, isn't it?
It's I've seen it, you know,
they kind of blame.
You know what, it's easy to blame a country that didn't say you wanted to come here. You came here because you wanted to. You're looking for security, looking for peace, but a lot of those things is just blended in because they don't see the value in that. And there's a lot of value.
Yeah, but what didn't you know before you came here? I mean, if you've even watched a few of my videos, you know that there's some annoyances, there's some inconveniences, there's bureaucracy, there's red tape. And then people will watch this video and go, well, Michael, Costa Rica's going in the wrong direction. Their infrastructure sucks, the crime's out of control, all that kind of stuff. But I would ask them, let's talk about your country for a minute. Let's talk about your country. We all have our problems. There's issues. Some people are on a better trajectory. My thing about Costa Rica, which I kind of see since I'm older, now maybe if I was 30, I know, right?
You're older?
If I was like 30, I might go, I don't know if I want to, if maybe in 20 years, Costa Rica's not on the right path, we'll say. Me, I'm older, and I only got so many years, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of at the end where I think, Costa Rica's usually got about a 7-year lag time of things that are happening out in the world that hit here.
Well, I think a lot of people, some people come in with, okay, I'm retired, but now I want to make a little bit of extra money. They want to let me do my business that I did in the U.S. and see if it translates into Costa Rica.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck, right?
Well, that's a good point anyway, because that's actually even getting harder. It used to be, guys, that whole digital, hey, I'll work on the internet. I'm going to travel around and work. That is a competitive market now. That is you just don't get a job actually even teaching English, really. It's gotten way competitive, a lot harder to find that job. And, might want to consider that before you go, well, I'll just pick up a job in Costa Rica. Nah, maybe you won't.
Well, I think a lot of things you have to take into consideration is right now, while you're healthy, you're okay. That's not priority. But the digital nomad, the whole thing, when you're not healthy, Mike, some people it really gets screwy.
Well, especially if you're coming down here as like a retiree or something, and if you have done your homework and research, you know that you better come down here with all your T's crossed and I's dotted about your health, whether it's you keep your whatever you're doing, it better be laid out and have the foundation with the plan of when you do live here, what you have to do even here to, get that base.
Well, Mike, they complain about the healthcare system.
I know.
They come here, oh, the Cajas did this. Well, you got a little bit of taste of that, right?
I did. I hate the cop. No. I just don't understand what people didn't realize. And then, you thought of Costa Rica, what you're kind of saying, for a reason.
Yeah.
You're mad. Okay, we could say you're upset with the politics. You're upset with the trajectory of your country, wherever it is. I know a lot of people from Canada that freaking hate Canada now because they feel it's going in the wrong direction. Now, I'm not saying it is or isn't. It is, no. But, so when you start stacking things up and your Costa Rica is on your radar and you're like going, well, this sucks about my country, this sucks about my country, and Costa Rica's going to have the same things. We have issues down here. People, Mike, you're just trying to get people to, I don't give a fuck if people move here. I just try to give them information. And they go, oh, you just, you're all macaws and monkeys at the window when you have coffee. No, Costa Rica's not for everybody, man. But I just wish when they do that, I did my homework and research. Did you? Some people have analysis paralysis, and other people like that.
I think they did cheat sheets, Mike.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
they did a little bit of cheat sheets to, hey, you know what? I did my homework, but it's your perception of what you did. Did you use somebody that knew what they were doing? You talk about contacts about the retreat. You know what? Did you contact some of these people that know what they're doing? They made the mistakes already, and did you follow it, or did you? Mike, I'll give you my own example. When I came down here as an American, I brought a lot of my American stuff coming over here. The right things I thought was the right way to do things, the efficient and everything. And I had a nice eye-opening on when it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you think like, well, why isn't this working? This is the way it's supposed to be done. And it's done differently. And people sometimes have trouble accepting, hey, it's done differently, but it works. And
well, I don't know if it works.
well,
it gets there. It gets there.
We've gotten 2 days we got 2 perfect days in Costa Rica sometimes.
We have. It was crazy.
And that doesn't happen. So it can happen. It's just that people set the expectation. Oh, I need to get this done, and then when it doesn't get, they get mad. No, you came here for a reason. You weren't mad when you came here, but now you're mad because of this.
Or it wasn't as easy as you heard it was or thought it was going to be. Because there are some extreme annoyances. We're going to actually probably talk about that in the other video about business. You know, when I set up my banking for business, actually, I didn't set it up. It was freaking hoop after hoop after hoop after more hoops. And then they go, why don't you just start the hoops over again? Because there's a lot of stuff here that can be frustrating, annoying, but no different
than
anywhere else.
No,
really. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there is a difference in.
I think the U.S., at least where we're from, is capitalistic. They do make things a little easier for people to start the road to do things. Here, not so much. Here, it's kind of almost like
they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, like no, you're right, Mike. You're doing us a favor. So you know what? You open up a business, great. Pay me. Okay, you know what? You want to hire employees? Pay me.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to have an employee and make sure it's insured. They're following everything to make sure that happens. And some people are like, oh, I don't want this, or I want to do it as cheaply as possible. Well,
there's another mistake.
Yeah, no, and then be like, oh, I'm going to go to Mexico or this other places. There's always something that is attracting you there. But there's always going to have something different that the other country doesn't have.
I love when people go, Panama's way better. Belize is way better. Portugal, okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at that, guys. You guys got to do you. And if the fact Costa Rica doesn't work for you, or you say Portugal is better, or it's easier in Mexico, go there. That's cool. I could totally.
You know, Mike, Mexico, to get residency, you have to have a minimum income over $4,000.
Is that true?
Yes. Here in Costa Rica, you have a minimum income for retirement.
Okay, we better be careful where we're going because some people are, yeah, but in Mexico you can do this, and in Costa Rica it's like that.
Well, there's always one thing or the other. My point was that you have one good thing or one bad thing. And people need to get off of, hey, you know what? Let's just live life. You know, stop worrying about if you retired. Don't start a business.
Well, okay, I'm going to go a little sideways. So answer this. So people that are living here on a budget, they're coming down here, let's just say with Social Security check, let's say it's $1,400. Let's say, hey, I'm going to, when I get down there, I'm going to, you know, get a little job somewhere. I'm going to do something. I just need a couple $100 a month or whatever
Mike, no.
So, but my question is, where can you live better for $1,400? I'm not comparing Costa Rica and like Mexico. I'm saying if you're complaining about like your budget here got out of whack, would it? I'm asking. I haven't been to the United States for a long time. I'm actually asking this, not being sarcastic. Can you do that for $1,400? You know, wherever they are in the states.
On some states, yeah. In some states,
well, maybe depending on where you're, like rural or city.
more
not
rural.
The city, I don't think.
Right. More rural. But the other thing you have to, their life expectation or their lifestyle needs to be adequate of what they're making. Here in Costa Rica, if you're going to live in a skazoo,
well, yeah, you're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay regular.
You're gonna pay regular
prices.
Right. And if you're gonna want to have the same things that you have in the U.S. of, hey, you know what? I want that Johnsonville sausage, or I want this Oscar Mayer, or I want this Procter & Gamble. You're going to pay prices.
Well, I think the other interesting thing, that people on the budget, if I could give you guys some advice, quit picking places in Costa Rica that every expat goes to. If you want to live cheaply here, go to a freaking town that you've never heard of where it's all Ticos, and I guarantee you can probably live a lot easier on your budget. The prices change a lot if you go to some of these like Watuso, Upala, or you know, some of these off. Wait, it's so funny. I've said this a couple times. People go, oh, Mike, I want to be off the beaten path. You do, you do, but you want the freeway exit right there. You know, it's like you
want to be 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
But for 100 miles away.
But if people really wanted to live here on a budget, really meant to change their life and live a pure life and put yourself into the culture, learn the language, what better way than going to a total Tico town where there is no tourists? It's not the, it's not Vita, it's not the ones that everybody goes
not
to,
Tamarind,
not the high-priced ones. Go to a place that it's still beautiful, guys. It's still beautiful. Now, there will be changes in getting those conveniences and they won't have everything. But if you really wanted to live a little cheaper, you could get a freaking an apartment in some of these places for $100,
Yeah, from 100 to $300, depending on
nice.
Yeah, but people want what they want, Mike,
and then they want to complain when they
can't get it. No, and it's good and bad, but that expectation is you gotta change it. If you're gonna live on a budget in Costa Rica, my suggestion is if you live in a Tico town and you eat Tico, if you're gonna do the same ways in the States, you're going to go broke.
Well, look at where you live in Ciudad Quesada, San Carlos. I mean, that's a big Tico town. There's definitely gringos there, but it's not like
it's not infested. It's not infested.
But the prices are pretty good there.
Yeah, they're half the price of where you live.
And then there are hospitals there. Hospitals there. So
yeah, it's choosing climate, choosing where everything's reasonably close to you, but also make it in a Tico town. Not, there's a lot of beautiful places, but they got overrun with foreigners, and they raised the prices themselves. They bought this house, and they got the huge white elephant, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of white elephants, and prices went up, and they get, why are we getting charged so much for this? You raise the price.
What do you think was going to happen?
No, it's
I don't know. I just wish people. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not sure what they're thinking. I guess maybe at some time it's Costa Rica's fault in some way. I don't understand. They're just a country doing their own thing. So how can it be their fault? If you've done half of any homework and research, you kind of know. Okay, there's going to be some like business. There's going to be some hoops.
Oh.
And they might be super, super frustrating. So, okay, what don't you know about that?
Well, Mike, let me tell you something we don't know about business here. Is that if you're not Tico, there's definitely roadblocks for people that are not from here. And they're not going to tell you that, but you and I think...
Well, I've seen a couple.
Yeah, it's just that uncertainty of where your funds are, how things are coming through. They really put you through the ringer, and some people rightfully so, some people unnecessarily. But you can't come here thinking you're going to do the business that you did in the States. I had this wonderful car wash, and I'm going to do the same thing here. There's a lot of competition, but the other thing is that they don't make it easy. Like, I need to receive this kind of. Well, why? Give me a reason. It's kind of like, I'm giving you, I'm depositing money in your account.
Yeah, banks. I think in general, banks are getting out of control. They think they control. I'm telling you, I've said this a few times. I think banks are going to go. You go to use your card, it's going to be denied. They're going to go, Johnny, you haven't paid your water bill yet, so we don't really think you should be buying that. That nice pair of pants. We're gonna make you pay your bills. So we're gonna say no on this one.
No.
That's where it's going.
I think something else is going is that we always think, hey, we're going to save. Well, people will come here and retire. I'm going to save. We've saved for retirement. We're good to go. We have this amount of money. But these unexpected things that happen here. You know what? Motorcycle accidents and car accidents.
I've seen all these, by the way. Yeah, these are real.
It's crazy that you have to plan for. You plan for the worst. Plan for the worst, or get the worst, or not get the worst.
Expect the worst, or something like that.
So
you guys know what we're talking about.
But you have to say, okay, you know what? But you can't let it ruin your whole life. You came here because you were happy to come. Now all of a sudden you can't.
There's a fine line between doing your homework and research, doing too much, maybe taking that leap to jump in, understanding that I don't think anybody should come to Costa Rica going, I'm going to see, because you need the challenge. You do much better when you don't have options. You know what I mean? Like if you go, if I don't make it, I'll just go back to my house in Atlanta or something. Well, that gives you an out on the easiest. And if something little happens, you like, oh, I'm going to go back. Yeah. What you need to do is make it an adventure in your life, a challenge in your life, and come here and go, I'm going to make it there.
Yeah.
I think. Now, not again, there's a fine line because not everybody makes it. I understand. You got other things pop up, medical. Maybe they got to go, family, whatever.
Family, or you got to take care of a loved one.
Yeah. I mean, I totally see that. Yeah,
you can do that here too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the honest truth, coming to Costa Rica, it is a challenge, but you wanted that challenge. You wanted to be right. But
and did you not think it was not going to be a challenge?
No, it's not. It was going to be just easy. People were just going to, you know what? No, you're on vacation. You pay me dollars. You have this magic tree that you plant in the back that you just transplanted from the U.S. to come to here, and you can still do that. Things change. And then the famous thing, Mike, gringo pricing. Okay, well, did you ask, or did you ask more than one spot? What you're paying for things?
Well, gringo pricing to me is your own fault anyway, and it shouldn't be called gringo pricing. It's just called know what you're getting into. If you go to a car dealership and you're willing to pay $70,000 for a $50,000 car, whose fault is that? Did you get gringo priced, or are you a dumbass?
You accepted it.
So I mean, that's just buyer beware, right? I mean, if you're willing to buy that house and then after you go, I got ripped off on because you didn't do your due diligence.
We have had a gentleman email us on my little channel asking, hey, you know what, Johnny? I'm going to buy this place and I'm coming down in the year. And I'm like, well, did you live there? No, but it's beautiful as this view. Did you get the water permit? Did you check all these other things? Did you get your land study done to make sure that you can build on there, that it's not sediment, that it's not
There's compacted? No lien on the property?
But no. Everything, the guy, he was so nice. Are you using the lawyer that he's recommending, or are you getting your own? And a lot of times, I don't get it. How do you use a lawyer that the person that's selling is recommending to you?
I don't do it.
How do you do that? You get it.
And then bitch about it when things go wrong.
Yeah, you have, Mike, you got to trust or verify.
Right.
But people don't do that.
Well, I agree. I just wish, I get sad when people don't make it here and they're frustrated with things. And in one hand, I want to go, well, take some responsibility. In the other hand, it's like, it is a challenge and it's super tough, especially like maybe you're by yourself or something, so, but you do got, the contacts are super key, friends, super key. Obviously, learning Spanish, which I'm terrible at, but still.
You got to create a community, a support community that helps you doing things. And a lot of times, that's not Facebook, okay?
Those people are vicious, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
But you're right about the community thing, because now somebody's probably done it before you and can guide you through whatever. Hey, you don't have to use this lawyer, but he worked for me and I did this and he seems to be pretty good. Why don't you check him out? Or the health, to guide maybe to, the health care a little bit. The community thing I think is important.
Yeah, the health care, the whole thing. You have to do your homework. If you're coming with chronic diseases, you really don't want to go someplace that's too far off the.
Well, I feel like we could talk about this for the next 2 hours.
Probably.
But we're going to wind it up. Johnny, thanks. Always love your perspective and your insight. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Things are going to pop up, my videos right there and there. If you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research. And I think my videos, Johnny. And yours, he's got a channel. He's got some stuff, too,
It's a little channel.
Well, hey.
Johnny knows Costa Rica. It's a little channel.
All right. Peace. I feel like I haven't seen you since last year.
Yeah, no, I me either.
Happy New Year.
Take care.